Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi brothers and sisters, subhanAllah. Come back into the cool room after watching our 33-year-old brother Hassan Hawat, who just tragically died on a motorbike a few days ago. His last conversation with the boys around him before he left on the bike was when his late al-qadar, because he had seen a dream. SubhanAllah, brothers and sisters, suppose you reflect back, washing every single day, people you know, people you love. You got to do Umrah just a few days ago, and we got to do Umrah just a few months ago, and a beautiful brother, inshallah, Rabbi is a shaheed. My brothers and sisters, please get rid of your motorbikes. Get rid of those two-wheeled coffins. I've washed and buried too many people, including myself, who's had an accident not long ago on a motorbike. Wallah, my brothers and sisters, it doesn't matter how good you are and how sure you are of yourself on a motorbike, it's still two wheels. There's no protection around you. There's no protection from the elements or the people that drive around you. My brothers and sisters, we don't want to be in a body bag like this, where your parents come and your brothers come and they cry for you and they tear for you because you can't get up and talk anymore. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have mercy on our brother Hassan. Yaghfir lahu wa yarhamuhu. In these greatest days of the year, and forgive his sins, forgive us all. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Hello and welcome to Andrew's Clubhouse. I hope everyone is well. This is a special episode of Andrew's Clubhouse made with the consent of my new best friend, Darby. I watched his video on YouTube and there was something about what he was saying that inspired me. There's something about the sentiment specifically that I related to, and I reached out to him on YouTube because he doesn't answer emails or his Instagram messages. Yeah, he's kind of like a hard man to get a hold of, but he replies to his YouTube comments, which is fine, I suppose. I reply to all my YouTube comments, so please like, comment and subscribe if you enjoy this content, by the way. So what you're going to see now is a repurposing, a remixing of Darby's video in which he talks about art and the value of art and the suffocating restriction of work on some people. And what you'll see is how I relate to that. But the way that I relate to that is in terms of mental health, I suppose, because that's something that's on my mind at the moment, and that's something that I'm still grappling with and coming to terms with, And art, by the way, has become a great healer for me. Creative outlets in general has been quite a lifesaver, I have to say, And speaking of lifesaver, the intro to this video will be a reel from I don't know if he's an imam. He seems to be a well-respected, well-regarded figure in the Islamic community here in Sydney, and I don't know anything about this particular practice, but all of his reels deal with him having to clean and bury dead bodies. I presume in the Islamic tradition, so I believe he's a bit of a mortician. And I watched one of his reels and it really, really, really broke my heart because he began to get quite emotional, and then I began to get quite emotional, and I thought that sentiment or that emotional connection between me and some big, brawny Muslim was really, really interesting and quite powerful, I have to say. And plus, he's a really good friend of Danny Abdullah, and that is significant to me. So I'm going to echo his sentiments and say, please guys, if you own a motorcycle, sell it, don't ride it, or be extra, extra cautious. When I was a young boy, there was someone in my family that died of a motorcycle accident, and I don't even believe he was wearing a bloody helmet. So, you know, strongly consider having a motorcycle. I'm just remembering now that Gabby, who died last year, was in a really bad motorcycle accident several years prior. And that really set him back. So maybe it's fitting that I saw that reel, and maybe it's fitting that I included that in this video about an Aussie artist in it, right? I really hope you like this. It was a pleasure to make it. It was a pleasure to have the consent of Darby, who answers his emails, to do this. I really appreciate it. So without further ado, here is Darby's video.
Getting through 9-to-5 jobs over years can kind of beat the spirit out of you over a long period of time, because you go into a new job and you start talking the same way, you start saying the same things. You've only got about two weeks before you're totally almost under the spell and you're indoctrinated, because if you start saying weird shit, you'll get side eye roll, all that sort of stuff. And if you're a creative person, it's hard to, you've got to maintain that sense of that weird spirit of what you do and who you are. You've got to blend in a group situation at a workplace to pay the bills, to pay the rent so you can survive. It's slowly eaten away from you, and you don't have any energy after work to even do anything. I've always thought bills are kind of a way of keeping everyone normal, because to pay the bill, you've got to have a job, and to have a job, you've got to act normal. And so then you've got to blend into society and participate. Every time I leave through the front door, I feel like, oh, here we go. I'm on the conveyor belt of participating with people and things and doing shit and pretending to be normal. The kids call it masking these days. You can call it anything you want. I always struggled with it. I always struggled to, it just felt dead and lifeless. The way people say the same shit in the same way, they sing phrases with the exact same melody, and it gets tiresome. You start to feel like a zombie, and you're just an algorithm you're just a human algorithm. What always I've noticed when you go on holidays from work, like a 2-week holiday, a proper one, it normally takes about a week and a half until you're actually back to being a normal person again. And then you've only got half a week left to actually enjoy it. Then you've got the last 2 days to just anticipate going back to work. It's almost pointless taking a 2-week holiday in the first place. And you notice it in co-workers' eyes, freshly back from a holiday. For the first hour of the day, their wide eyes are just like this, like open, and they look like an endangered species for about an hour. And it's like, I see that. I can see the human inside that. You're not a robot. You're a person. But then after about an hour, they're back to just being completely normal, and they're just a pure algorithm again. But yeah, you see that shit. But yeah, surviving it is strange, and being able to survive it, you can bring a gift to the world. Survive through the cult of sensible, school, jobs, family, and if you get to the end, you'll have a gift for the world. Even if you have the energy to even write about it later. I remember someone saying to me when I was in a chef job years ago, not a chef job, I was an apprentice cook, apprentice chef, whatever you want to call it, in my late 20s, and he said, "Oh, Darby, you're a cartoonist. Maybe you'll make a cartoon about working in this job." And I thought, who'd want to write about jobs? I don't want to write about jobs. That's boring. But then into my 30s, all of a sudden I needed to read other people's stories about jobs and surviving them and the bullshit of it. And that made me, that was like medicine. It was like medicine reading other people's takes on the bullshit of it all. And stories were able to kind of save me. They were like a roadmap out of the endless routine of 9-to-5 jobs that just went forever and ever, and there was no end in sight. And when you're in your 30s, time's still quite slow, because time speeds up exponentially as you get older. But but it still feels like forever. Your 30s is just never going to fucking end. It's also a time when people start to get promotions and get entrenched into the bullshit of the world and the fake human-made reality. I remember in a full-time job, the routine of the full-time job over 3 years made me so dizzy. Clouds started to appear like dead things floating in the sky when I'd leave work. It sucked the magic out of just natural and nature, and I thought that this is dangerous. When nature starts to become unmagical, there's something dangerous going on. It's a tough one, but yeah, stories were able to sort of save me in that really interesting time in your mid-30s where there's some big life decisions to be made. So-called big life decisions, which someone said the other day on my Instagram, Darby, you sound like a smart and clever person, but I think some of your views are quite dangerous and you've got to be careful of what you say. And it's funny because I've said in the past, you're dangerous when you make something beautiful, and it's easy to talk about art and what to do and what not to do, but actually to do it and then be called dangerous. At first, of course, my ego was taken aback. I was like, oh, I'm not dangerous. Maybe I should. I questioned it. I thought, oh, maybe I am. Maybe that's a bad thing to put out there. But then I thought, no, fuck that. The people who actually saved my ass in my 30s, they would be called dangerous as well. And I was like, oh, this is the greatest honor, one of the greatest honors ever, to be called dangerous. Other people have said it better and more dangerously and more interestingly. But yeah, it's funny. The older I get, I forget that I've lived a bit and have this life experience. And anytime I write from the perspective of a 50-year-old, which is a character I'm also playing, I'm 50. But my videos and my thoughts seem to resonate. And I forget that I had that life experience. I feel like I'm just 21 or 18 or 12 or 8. Anyway, yeah, stories were able to save me and they were amazing. They were able to save me and make me feel normal in a world that insisted that I was completely out of line and unchecked and needed some sort of life performance review. You get enough performance reviews at work and you start to think, oh, so I'm going to get a performance review from life from someone at some point. You start to think that's your performance reviews at work are your performance reviews for life, for the life that you're living. I remember my manager saying to me once, Darby, I don't even think you should be working or even working here. Like, why are you even working here? Shouldn't you be writing poetry under a bridge? And another manager said to me, an ex-manager said to me 10 years later, Darby, I can't believe you're working. Congratulations. It's like when I was working in some bullshit corporate job and this manager was working in another corporate bullshit job across the road when I bumped into her. But yeah, road maps, stories as road maps always intrigue me. And being able to feel less alone in the world when people say real and true things, which are really rare. When someone actually, or an artist or a writer says something that's true, it makes all the other stories and all the other art seem fake, and it always brings a massive relief. My favourite art has always made me feel like a sense of relief and like I can breathe. I often find myself just holding my breath just through the day. I was like, oh, Darby, fucking breathe. Breathe. And yeah, well, I notice when I'm reading something true, my body responds to it first. I start to breathe because I'm reading something true. When I'm reading lies, I'm holding my breath. It's like my gut knows your intuition. Yeah, to start to notice when I'm breathing or not, and then I'll know if something's good for me or not. Like I've said in the past, most art is poison. You got to drink a lot of poison to find the stuff that it's actually true or real or beautiful or takes you out of, relieves you of the burden of time. Or that's another thing that art does. Time is so fucking heavy, and it feels like when you're doing nothing, it's the heaviest. So people go to work and they have all these things. They have all these things in their life set up. So time's weightless, and they don't feel it. The busier you are, the less you have time to ruminate, and time can feel kind of weightless and easy, and that's beautiful. I love that. I've noticed creativity involves the act of doing nothing, the seeming physical act of doing nothing, just sitting there. And sometimes I think creativity is generating ideas and sitting still in the act of appearing to be doing nothing is kind of holding the weight of time and creating something that's beautiful, that relieves the weight of time for the person experiencing your art. Oh, that sounds good. That feels right. Yeah, I feel like that's what art is. Yeah, it's in holding up the incredible weight of time to make time easier for other people. Then I've read quotes from other authors, famous philosophers, saying people who read too much don't, or experience art too much, or indulge in art too much. They don't actually get to experience the weight of time themselves because they're letting artists and writers do it all for them. It's funny, sometimes some people say to me that, oh, you're actually doing a community service. It's doing a service to the world. And that makes me feel, I'll wear it for 2 seconds and I just move on. I'm doing the next thing. But yeah, I feel like I'm digging a tunnel and I'm trying to put up infrastructure to get through to the other side, whatever that is. That's what life is. We're all just trying to, as many philosophers and Buddhists and all that sort of shit have said, we're just helping each other through. Or Ramdas, Ramdas said, we're just walking each other home. Something like that. Yeah, I forget sometimes that my stuff's helpful. Because I'm just trying to write stuff that's helpful to me, and if it's helpful to anyone else, that's a bonus. That's the biggest beautiful thing. I really sort of went around in circles again with this one. I just wanted to, just talk and see where it leads. Sometimes it's my favorite thing to do with creativity. This podcast exactly reflected how I come up with ideas. I go from one thing to the next, to the next, to the next, and it makes no sense. So thanks for following along wherever this garden path led. Yeah, if you'd like to leave a review on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or leave a comment on YouTube where my cat in the background, she's like saying, shut up, Darby, who gives a shit? This is what you do. Here I am with fumes coming off my head, and that's how you do life. That's how it's done.
Communication, site meeting. All right, so what are we going to do today? What's on the agenda?
If you're on the freestyle, I'm going to do song from anyone.
Down good. Okay. Assuming the background's this is the way, yeah. But what's more priority, the background's